Purple Ghost, Grandmaster Purple Ghost, whatever we're going to go by. And this is the heavy genres tier list. So this is not my tier list. This is one I borrowed. So something's missing here. It ain't my doing. So right away we have alt metal, and that's kind of the spot a lot of metals just kind of puts. So, but there's some good stuff in there, honestly. So I'd say I like most of it for sure. And again, this is totally subjective. So we got atmospheric black metal. I've heard some things that are good. I can't really name anybody from it, but I've heard some things that are interesting. Maybe meh, because I don't really know it well enough to make a judgment. Don't even know that one. We'll have to make a new row. A row below. We'll call it unfamiliar or don't know. Don't know. Beauty or don't know. All right, so we don't know that one. This one, yeah, some of it for sure. Not really big on black metal. Black and roll, don't really know. Black and crust, don't really know. Some of these I'll definitely have to research, especially in the part two, blackened death metal. Don't really know that one either. All right, we gotta move on to one we do know. Comedy metal, meh. Maybe like some of it. Some of it is kind of funny. I can't think of people off the top of my head. Death metal, definitely like some of it for sure. Then we have what do we have? Gent. Oh, I love Gent. I like most of it though. I'm not necessarily going to put it under favorite, which I should spell correctly. Not this bizarro spelling without the U. Then we're going to do death grind. We got digital hardcore. We got folk metal. Meh. Then we have deathcore. Nah, I don't know that one. Let's see. Go to funk metal. I'm gonna put like most of it. Favorite genres I'll do later on in the video, where it's that kind of thing. Then we do glam metal. I think there's a lot of good riffs. Some of it is a little dated. Some of it you could tell there were some copycat groups, but overall I'd say glam metal holds up and has some really solid guitar parts. Sometimes some pretty involved bass parts too. Yeah, everything seems to be on point, so to speak. So we will put that in. I honestly like most of it. This may be the hot take to have, but I honestly think most glam metal is solid. Then we have goth metal. Meh. Hard rock. Hard rock is interesting. I'd say I like most of it. Grunge. Meh. Some of it's good. I like Soundgarden, but not necessarily the biggest Nirvana fan. I know you're generally supposed to be a fan of them, but I wouldn't consider myself the biggest fan of them compared to some other ones. Hardcore punk. No thanks. Switch the station. Heavy metal. Most of it for sure. Industrial metal. Some of it. There's some good parts. Jazz metal. Most of it. I think it's a very tricky genre to get, but once you get it, depending on what you consider jazz metal, kawaii metal, general dislike of it. There may be an interesting guitar part, but general dislike of it for sure. Then we have metalcore. I was not really of that prime demographic for metalcore. So I'm going to put metalcore in the meh category. I've heard some things. Some of it is interesting for sure, but it wasn't really my kind of area. All right, moving on. We have neoclassical metal. Big fan of neoclassical metal. 100%. Uh, Nu metal is usually poo-pooed on, but it's a really solid. It's got some really solid riffs, some really interesting parts of it. And it depends on what you call nu metal, because there's a lot of things that are put in the nu metal category that totally different from each other. So we're gonna put nu metal in the like some of it. Prog metal, most of it. Uh, what else are we gonna rate in this video? Space rock, definitely into the like most of it category. You can definitely tell I'm a big fan of metal, but I'm not necessarily a metalhead. I just like the genres a lot. A lot of these are, which sounds like the same thing, but we'll clarify. We'll make a broader genre tier list, a couple tier lists from now for sure. All right, and then we got thrash. Most of it's great. What do we have? We got pirate metal, so like Ailstorm and all that. Yeah, I like some of it for sure. Then I think that's all we're gonna add for this part, and then we're just gonna move some of them up. So right away, prog metal favorites, uh, neoclassical metal. Maybe move this up. I might have to listen to more of that, and definitely like those four. I definitely say big fan of. So if you like this, feel free to subscribe, like whatever, and I will see you in the next one.